Hi, welcome to Tiny NH House. Today is the 5th of June. I drove up to the cabin this morning for a few days to do some work. On the schedule for this time is to start the siding on the south side of the cabin and to continue work on hooking the solar panels up to the battery box. I have to dig a trench for the conduit to put in. So it's a hot day today. I generally stain the shiplap boards before I put them up. So I think I'll do that down in the basement where it's about 15 degrees cooler. So let's get to work. So this is my painting or staining setup down in the cellar. I meant to bring a small fan up with me this time, but I forgot just to move the air around down here. I have 4 small windows in the cellar, standard cellar windows with screens, so they're all open. But by the time I get these 6 boards stained, I am going to be high. So take a break every now and then. But it sure beats standing out in the hot sun. So this is the south side of the cabin. Ran a line up between each end. I've got the spirit level hanging from the line in the middle there. So I know I'm starting with a level playing field. One of the interesting things about putting up siding is I find all the missing spots on the green sheathing that I missed to nail in. So it takes me longer because I have to nail those in, as well as attaching the shiplap. So let's get our first piece up in level. So I got my first piece of shiplap up. Probably the hardest piece. Also, doing it yourself, it's hard to hold it level and nail at the same time. Right in the middle there, to the left of the window, I've got makeshift 2x4 and some blocks just to hold that end while I nailed in the other end. And then, can't really see it here, on this end I nailed a piece of wood in so I could bring the edge of the shiplap up flush. But first one's the hardest. So now we'll finish this row. These are 14 footers. So let's see. 14, 14, that's 28, 32 feet long. So I have to cut a 4-foot section on the end and then zigzag that pattern as I progress. Yeah, the sheathing, the bottom level there, I only had a couple nails in it. Surprised this thing has survived for 3 or 4 seasons already. Looking good. We've got the first 6 rows of shiplap nailed up on the back. Now I'm going to put flashing around the sides of the windows, and then we'll put shiplap to the left of that leftmost window. So how you install this stuff is you put the bottom piece on under the window first, and then you put the 2 side pieces on, and then you put the top piece across. So all the seams are on the bottom and everything's overlapped, so the water's going to run out. So this stuff is sticky on back and has this paper that you pull off. The trickiest thing is getting this in the groove here so it's gonna lay straight all the way down. That looks pretty good, actually. And then once I'm done with this, I will come back up here and throw a couple staples on this, because I'm not going to get up high. I'm not going to get this all done this trip, so the staples will just hold it in place in case it's a windy day. So we'll finish the bottom of this piece. So one of the tricky parts of working around the windows is this bottom joint here. I think they call this a J channel on the window, and this siding just slides right in there, about 1/2 inch. Then you can caulk along here if you want. It's really easy. But when you get to the bottom here, they've got the seam from manufacturing and this edge here.
it's really hard to get those pieces in. So what I did over here, can't see it now, but I took a rasp and a Sureform tool and I cut down the back of the piece of shiplap so it slid in there and fit good. And once you do this corner, these pieces all slide in easy. The trouble is the middle piece here. Let me grab this other piece of wood. So what I did is I cut some wood to the exact size that I need. And I just can't stick one end in and then the other because it doesn't fit. So I have to slide it in. What I'm going to end up doing is sliding in from the top there and slide them down. But what I figured out is I cut a bunch of these to the exact size. I'm going to take them home. I'm going to flip them over. And on the back, I'm going to use my belt sander. I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little more, off of this on both sides. So when I do that, they'll be able to slip in easily here. So I'll do that for, I counted them, I think there's 18 of them, and I cut them all to size. So I'll do that at home and bring them back next time and do the space between the windows. So this is the progress we made this trip. As you saw earlier, there was no siding at all in the back, and we're up maybe 2/3 of the way. So that's good progress. I didn't expect to get that much accomplished this trip. Most of my time was spent on that. My ditch, I've got about 3/4 dug from the solar panel stand over to the battery box, and I'll finish that up next time because that's gonna take a lot of time. I gotta thread the wire through, I gotta get fittings for each end, I have to hook up the circuit breakers and the charge controller inside the box, and then hook them up and make them waterproof on the solar stand. So I'll get a second panel up there this summer. I'm adding a couple minutes of video after this about a storm that came through Saturday afternoon. Very windy. I love it up here to hear the wind in the trees and to see the trees move. So that's it for this time. Everybody stay safe and healthy out there.